All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something every single endurance athlete has dealt with, hitting that wall with your fueling. I mean, you're putting in all the work, your legs feel great, but your gut just says nope. Well, today, we're going to figure out exactly why that's happening, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it. I mean, does this sound familiar to you? You're deep into a race, everything's going great, you grab a gel, and then it hits. Your stomach just starts to protest. You get that awful grumbling, that sloshing feeling, maybe even nausea. It can totally derail your entire race, right? What was supposed to be a PR turns into this painful shuffle to the finish line. We've all been there.
So here's the thing. The science is pretty clear on this. For those long events, the goal is something like 90 grams of carbs an hour. But there's this massive gap between that goal and what most of us can actually handle. We hit a ceiling, maybe at 50, maybe 60 grams, and trying to push past it, well, that just leads to all those gut problems and your performance just tanks. Honestly, that gap is where races are won and lost.
And this is where we need a bit of a mind shift. A real pioneer in sports science, Asker Droop, put it perfectly. He said the question isn't just how much should I take, it's what's stopping me from absorbing more? What are the roadblocks in my system and how do I get them out of the way? It's about understanding the why, not just the what.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to break down the 7, let's call them roadblocks, that are creating this massive traffic jam in your gut. And really, understanding these is the absolute first step to finally breaking through that fueling ceiling you keep hitting. Yeah, you can think of these as 7 hurdles your body has to get over to actually use the fuel you're giving it. And they range from the microscopic cellular level all the way up to your overall fitness. Each one can be a bottleneck. So let's just dive in and tackle them one by one.
All right, roadblock number 1. This is a traffic jam, but it's happening at a tiny cellular level. See, in your small intestine, you've got this little worker protein called SGLT1. Its whole job is to grab glucose from your gut and shuttle it into your bloodstream. But here's the kicker. It has a speed limit. It can only work so fast, and it pretty much gets maxed out or saturated at around 60 grams of glucose every hour.
And this is where the solution is actually pretty brilliant. If you're only taking in glucose, it's like you're on a one-lane road. It gets backed up fast. But fructose uses a totally different door, a different transporter called GLUT5. So when you use a fuel that has both glucose and fructose, you're literally opening up a second lane on the highway. Suddenly, traffic flows way better, and your body can absorb up to that magic 90 grams per hour target. Game changer. Okay, roadblock number 2 is all about gastric emptying. Fancy term, but it just means how fast your stomach can pass stuff along. And the key thing to know here is if your drink is too thick, too concentrated with carbs, it's just going to sit there. It's like a log jam in your stomach, causing that awful sloshing and nausea. So the golden rule, especially when it's hot out, keep your drink's carb concentration at or below about 8%. That keeps everything flowing nice and smooth.
So your body is smart, but sometimes it creates its own roadblocks. Here's what happens. When you're exercising really hard or it's hot, your body has to make a choice. It sends blood away from your gut to your muscles, because they're screaming for it, and to your skin to cool you down. Well, less blood flow to the gut means digestion slows way down. And that's exactly why the same gel that feels fine on an easy day can feel like a brick in your stomach during a hard race or on a super hot afternoon.
Next up, the fuel itself. What's actually in your fuel can be a roadblock. We already know that glucose-only fuels hit that single-lane traffic jam pretty quick. But also, if you're trying to add stuff like fiber, fats, or protein into your fuel during a race, well, that's just going to slow everything down. When you're at race intensity, simple carbs are your friend. Keep it clean, keep it targeted. All right, let's knock out the last 3 roadblocks because they're all kind of connected. Number 5 is electrolytes. That little SGLT1 transporter we talked about, it actually needs sodium to work right. So yeah, your hydration and your fueling are totally linked. Number 6 is, get this, your gut's fitness level. Yep, your gut can be trained, and how fit it is right now is a huge deal. And finally, number 7, some of us are just sensitive to certain sugars, the ones that can ferment in your gut. Think FODMAPs. For some people, those just cause a whole lot of gas and bloating. Another bottleneck. Okay, that sounds like a lot of problems, right? But here's the really good news. Every single one of these roadblocks can be addressed. You can do something about them. So now that we know what's going on, let's get to the fun part. Let's talk about the practical, real-world things you can do to start clearing these roadblocks, like on your very next run or ride.
I love this because it basically lays it all out like a playbook. It directly maps a solution to every single problem we just talked about. This isn't some abstract science lecture. This is your action plan. SGLT1 traffic jam? Use mixed carbs. Stomach sloshing? Watch your drink concentration. Feeling rough in the heat? Take smaller and more frequent sips. It's really that straightforward. This is your cheat sheet.
Now, this might be the most powerful strategy of all. It's called gut training, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Just like your leg muscles adapt and get stronger when you train them, your gut does the same thing. The process is really simple. You start with what you know you can handle comfortably. Let's say it's 50 grams an hour. Then, next week, in your long session, you bump it up to 60. The week after, 70. You just progressively overload it, week after week. The key here, just like with any training, is consistency.
And this just changes everything, doesn't it? It completely reframes the whole problem. It is so easy to fall into the trap of thinking, oh, I just have a weak stomach. But that's not true. Your gut is a trainable organ, just like your heart and your legs. It's not some liability that's holding you back. No way. It's a part of your performance system that you can actually develop and make stronger.
All right, let's pull all this together. We've looked at the problems, we've looked at the solutions. Now let's put it all together into a simple system, a way for you to build a fueling plan that's actually robust and reliable, one that's going to work for you on race day.
Think of this as your personal fueling checklist. This is what you need to nail in training. Number 1, use the right kind of carbs, that glucose-fructose mix. Number 2, dial in your drink concentration. 3, pay attention to the heat and how hard you're going. And the most important one, you have to rehearse your race day plan over and over and over again. And while you're doing that, you're training your gut. You nail these things, and fueling just becomes second nature. It's automatic.
You know, when you start to systematically knock down these roadblocks, you can completely transform your whole relationship with fueling. You really can go from being that person who says, ugh, I just can't handle more than 40 grams an hour, to being an athlete who can confidently knock back 70, 80, even 90 grams an hour and feel great doing it.
So, if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Your current fueling limit, it's not a concrete wall. It is not permanent. It's a trainable limit. So the real question isn't if you can raise it. It's how high are you going to raise yours?